Hello, welcome back. It's so good to see you. So today we are going to be doing another true crime video. Yay. Now last time I mentioned that I was going to do another Thanksgiving true crime. I know that it's after Thanksgiving, but there were only two. I do true crime videos every other Sunday. That's what I meant. And there were only 2 Sundays this month, so even though it's after Thanksgiving, I still wanted to keep it on the Thanksgiving theme, I guess. We'll go ahead and save Christmas true crime for next month. I hope everyone had a great Thanksgiving and Thanksgiving weekend. And if you didn't have Thanksgiving, then I just hope you had a great weekend. Okay, so yeah, I was able to find this story, and I don't know, I just thought it was kind of sad. You'll see once we get into it, but I mean it's a good true crime story, but I just feel sad about it. Most true crime is sad, but I don't know, this one just, it hit home, Okay, so, and last time I did it, I read it in kind of a slower pace, and I had a few comments saying that people liked that, so I'm going to try and do it a little slow, maybe not so slow, I don't know, we'll see how it goes. Anyway, okay, so let's get started. So, with every family, there's usually one black sheep, one person who doesn't quite fit in with everyone else. Now, you usually just deal with them, right? I mean, you only see them once or twice a year, so you just put up with it. But what if that black sheep was harboring a deep-seated hatred and an urge to take away all that you love? This is the story of the Merhige Thanksgiving Day Massacre. Paul Michael Merhige was born September 10th, 1974, into a loving, full family. A few years later, his mother had 2 twin girls. Growing up, Paul's parents seemed to be very nurturing and kind, and very supportive of Paul and anything he wanted to do. Around the age of 18, while a freshman in college, Paul started to express that he was experiencing some mental health concerns. He was suffering from insomnia and began to gain a lot of weight, and he also started to exhibit traits of OCD. He became very aware of germs and bacteria. This affected his life greatly. He began to struggle to make decisions and was unable to hold a job. Paul's parents wanted to help him in any way that they could. They even went as far as putting him on medication and setting him up with a condo to live in. That's pretty nice. Even with the help of his parents and family, Paul began to be withdrawn and was not a pleasant person to be around. That lasted a long time. So fast forward a few years to November 26, 2009, Thanksgiving Day in Jupiter, Florida. Paul was then 35 years old. Paul's parents and sisters had been invited to the Sitton's house to celebrate Thanksgiving. 16 guests had been invited, but Paul was not one of them. The Sittons were Paul's aunt and uncle-in-law, as well as their 6-year-old daughter, Michaela Joy. Also present were Paul's twin sisters, Lisa and Carla. Lisa was pregnant and expecting her first child with her husband Patrick, who was also present on Thanksgiving. Now, Paul wasn't invited, but when his father Michael called Jim Sitton for directions, he informed him that Paul would be coming. Once everyone arrived, the evening carried on as planned, and the family had a tradition of standing together and singing songs for one another. That seems very like something that you see on TV. I didn't know people actually did that. Anyway, Michaela also joined in. She loved to sing, and she actually had a performance the next day in a local production of the Nutcracker. How cute. Which she was very excited about. So she gave her family a sneak preview that night. It was beginning to get late, so Jim Sitton put his daughter Michaela to bed and kissed her goodnight. Soon after, the family continued celebrating, enjoying each other's company and catching up. Everyone seemed to be enjoying themselves and having a really good time. Everyone except Paul. He left the home for a moment and returned with something in his hand. Paul slowly and calmly raised a gun and shot and killed his sister Carla. He then turned and shot his pregnant sister Lisa before she could even react. Paul then shot his 76-year-old great-aunt, Ramonde Joseph. He then shot his sister Lisa's husband, Patrick Knight. Paul then attempted to shoot Jim Sitton, but the gun jammed. He turned and calmly said, "I've been waiting 20 years to do this." He then walked to Michaela's room, opened her door, and shot her while she slept. During the chaos, at least one neighbor called 911 to report sounds of gunfire and screams. Paul fled the scene and left town. He was prepared to do so. It was clear he had been planning this for quite some time. On January 2nd, 2010, Paul was arrested at a hotel 3 hours away from the crime scene after being featured on America's Most Wanted. He had shaved his head in an attempt to conceal his identity. I guess that didn't work. Paul was charged with 4 counts of premeditated murder and 3 counts of attempted first-degree murder. Paul pled guilty and accepted a plea deal. He was given 7 consecutive life sentences, being spared the death penalty. I just think that story is so sad. Like, he killed his sisters, and I don't understand. He waited 20 years to do this, right? Why would he need to walk into Michaela, the sweet little innocent girl who was sleeping, go into her room and shoot and kill her while she was sleeping? Why? She hasn't even been alive for 20 years. Did he just go crazy? Obviously he did, but if you've been waiting 20 years to do this, this means that you have been angry with your sisters or something because he killed his sisters and he killed his aunt. But like, why take it out on everyone else? You know what I mean? I don't know. I just thought it was such a sad story. And it's like, I specifically don't like when little innocent children get killed like that. Like, what? That just really upsets me. But yeah, it happened. Like, and he had no answers. You know, like, he didn't even talk at the trial or anything like that. He was just like, yeah, I did it. Like, he didn't, like, those are just the worst type of people. Anyway, I don't want to say I hope that you enjoyed that. I hope that you found it interesting. I don't know. Anyway, and I will see you soon.